psyche, and spirit, growing one awareness at a time.
Hello. Today I wanted to make a brief video on grounding through physical comfort during difficult times. Let's jump right in. What is grounding? In my terms, grounding is bringing yourself into the present moment while also calming your body down. Now, those two things are a little bit separate, but they both are important when we think about how we function. We can't always be present and we can't always be calm, but there are times when we need to bring ourselves back to both presence and calm, and grounding is one way to do it. Let's talk about physical comfort. In difficult times, there's a percentage of the population that closes off, that runs away from connection and intimacy. I don't know that runs away is always the right answer for that, but maybe withdraws. Withdraws is a little bit more of a neutral term there. There's a percentage of the population that tends to withdraw. For those folks who fall on that extreme end of really pulling in when they're under distress and when they're experiencing distress, those folks are the ones who probably really need to hear this. Because if you are pulling away from connection, if you are pulling away from physical contact, you might need it the most. So this is a good time, especially difficult times when you're in a lot of distress, if you are not someone who seeks comfort regularly. If you have a loved one, whether it be a family member or romantic partner, seek physical closeness in some way. Maybe it's just a hug, and that's the main way to experience physical comfort, is a nice big hug. That feels good. Why? Because you're calming down your nervous system. You're bringing yourself back into the present moment, and it does feel good. It feels grounding, as I just said. So for those of you who are already willing and able and typically lean more towards seeking that physical closeness, you may not need to hear this. But when some folks go into distress, they tend to pull away, they tend to withdraw, and sometimes a hug can really help with regulating your nervous system. Seek comfort from someone that you love, whether that's a friend, a romantic partner, or a family member, and go for a hug. If you trust that person and they love you and you love them, what could be greater than receiving a hug if you need one? Some of us might also feel a little vulnerable asking for that hug, right? I'll give you an example. My daughter is pretty young, but I've taught her, and my wife and I have taught her to try to actually ask for hugs when she needs them. And we try to teach her bodily autonomy and all that. But there are times when she gets really overwhelmed, and she does ask for hugs sometimes. There are times when she's really in distress, and she's not going to ask when she gets to that level. But I can ask her. And so I sometimes am proactive and will ask her, hey, do you need a hug? Now, sometimes she says, no, or shakes her head very, very definitively that she is not interested. But sometimes she shakes her head yes. And sometimes she needs that hug that can comfort her. So if you find that you're struggling, you're in a lot of distress, you are, in your day-to-day, you're kind of withdrawing a little bit because you're under so much stress, I would encourage you to seek comfort, seek physical comfort from someone you love. I also want to remind you, adults aren't that different from children in terms of our needs for physical contact and closeness and hugs and affection, right? So don't forget that when you are stressed out, when you're busy, when you are running from task to task in your busy lives, don't forget to seek physical comfort. Don't hesitate to ask. Allow yourself to have the vulnerability to ask for a hug. Can I have a hug? It's okay. It's okay to ask for that. Here's my suggestion for you. 1, ask for a hug or seek comfort when you need it, right? Especially if you're oriented towards withdrawing and detaching or feeling more vulnerable. If you fall at that extreme, it might benefit you to reach a little bit out of your comfort zone and ask for that hug. Number 2, though, if you are alone and you don't have anyone available to give you a hug in the moment, there are other ways that you can fulfill a feeling of physical warmth. And one of those ways is actually a hot bath or a hot shower. It gives you the physical sensation of touch through the water. The warm or hot water touching your skin can feel really comforting and can also help you kind of down-regulate, help your nervous system regulate a little bit, feel calm, and bring you into the present moment as well. So Don't underestimate the power of a hug, but also don't underestimate the power of a hot bath if you're alone and you don't have anyone to give you a hug. My final point is do not underestimate the need for physical touch. Human beings need this, and it might sound silly. Why would I need to remind you of this? But under stress, there's a portion of folks who are going to forget. They're going to forget to seek physical closeness, but it's a great way to ground. And it's a great way to connect with someone you love. So if you have the opportunity to do so and you're experiencing distress, I would encourage you to do it. All right, thank you for joining me. Until next time.